Remember, you can't possibly influence other people if you don't have the ability to influence yourself. And that's why I said this is kind of about self-management. And your leadership needs to be able to influence themselves first. I think that successful people who don't understand behavior are successful in spite of that fact. Successful people who do understand behavior are successful because of it. So rule number 1, understand behavioral consequences. As a chemical company, it would be in your best interest to hire chemists with some scientific knowledge of chemistry. They work with chemicals. And as any company, it's in your best interest to have leaders with a scientific understanding of behavior. They work with people. Rule number 2 is practice applying behavioral consequences. Right? Just because we know about consequences doesn't mean we know what happens when we apply them, in the same way that those of you who remembered the periodic table when you were a kid or had to study and learn it have no idea what happens when you mix the elements on the periodic table. All right, so now rule number 3. Self-nagging doesn't work. And again, this comes from personal experience. I injured my shoulder some time ago, and I eventually had to have arthroscopic surgery on my shoulder. And of course, as you can imagine, after that, I have to go through physical therapy, and then I'm told by my doctor, once I'm done with the physical therapy, to continue going to the gym. I kind of got in a phase where I was just nagging all the time. I wasn't going to the gym, and I kept saying to myself, I need to start going to the gym. Tomorrow I'm going to start. When I get back from my business trip, I'm going to start. So the first time I said I need to go to the gym and I failed, it kind of felt painful. And then the next time less painful, and the next time less painful, and eventually it didn't really even matter anymore. All right, so rule number 4, aspire realistically. That was my Arnold impression. It was terrible, I realized, after I said it out loud. So does anybody use an ab roller anymore? The point is, just doing a couple of crunches on the ab roller is not going to get you to look like Conan the Barbarian. You can't achieve success without at least allowing yourself realistic goals. So rule number 5 is use shaping religiously. So again, this is building off of rule number 4. Right? If you aspire to climb Mount Everest, you got to start with the hill in the backyard. And by the way, this is all applicable to business. Right? I see it time and time again. You set a goal, you aspire for something, and it's just such a huge stretch goal, if you will, that your people fail before they even have any idea of what success feels like. Rule number 6, don't be a hero. It's accepting 1,000 things at the beginning of the week and assuming that you can complete those things. I think earlier we heard the term orangutans, right? That was a rule. Right? Don't accept the monkeys on your back. And I think the reason people, from a behavioral perspective, accept 1,000 things when they can only handle 999 is because of the relief that comes with accepting it in the moment. Right? This is a behavioral issue. This is the short-term reinforcer that comes with saying, sure, I'll take that monkey on my back. But over time, what happens is that, again, you're more comfortable with failure. All right, rule number 7, remove the distractions. It's also another theme that I heard today. Somebody told me recently that the average number of connected devices in an American home is 5. 5 devices are connected to the internet, right? So you've got that, and you've got all these other distractions. You have to find a way to manage the distractions. You have to know how that's impacting your behavior. I was watching a movie with Lisa not too long ago, and I got up to go to the restroom. And I realized that before I even opened the door, I had my phone out. Before I was even looking down, my smartphone was in my hand. And it's like, it's just part of my day. It's such a distraction. And I realized at that point, I got to do something different about it. All right, rule number 8, observe the impact of your behavior on others. Right? You've heard this all day today. And I want to give you an example of something that, again, a personal experience recently that really kind of woke me up. So this is a real text from my mother. She texts me, "Hi, honey," and notice the time. If you can see that, it says it's 1:12 p.m. All right, so my response, "Hi, Mom, how you doing?" Now notice all the exclamation points and the question marks. My mom never texts, and notice how quickly I responded, 1:12 p.m. So within less than a minute, I texted my mom back. Okay, now I want you to take a look at the time it took her to text me back. Bless her. It took her 5 minutes to text me back, right? I think her phone's like from 1990. And she said, "I figured because you never answer my calls, maybe if I text, I'll get a response." And it's so true. And I realized in that moment that, again, the impact of not calling my mom is having on my relationship with her. Okay, so again, this fits into the culture change process because if you're a leader and you want to influence others, you have to be able to influence yourselves.